All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today I got something special. We had made the Remington Classic Pump Action Shotgun series, and there was a lot of comments about the Model 17, and at that time we couldn't get our hands on one. Well, now we have our hands on a Model 17 and we're excited to do a part 4. So today we're going to be talking about the Remington Model 17, talking about the history, talking about this gun that we have here today, along with some of the other grades and variations that you might be able to find. And then lastly, wrap up the video talking about some of my thoughts on the Model 17. So with that said, let's dive right on in. Now in the first three parts, we covered the Model 10, the Model 29, and the Model 31. Well, this is the Model 17. And not only is it Remington's first 20 gauge pump action shotgun, but this is also a John Browning design. In fact, John Browning started designing this in 1913, and then he basically sold the rights to Remington in 1915. However, with World War I happening and Remington getting caught up with that, they didn't actually start producing this Model 17 until 1921. Now, they ran that production from 1921 all the way to 1933. And what's interesting about that is that this gun obviously had some patents, not only from John Browning, but then also another engineer, John Pedersen, also made some changes on this gun before it was released, which actually extended out those patents, which ironically actually led to some issues with another iconic shotgun out there, the Ithaca Model 37. Now, I'm not going to go too far into that in this video. However, we will have another video coming out later on this year focusing on that story with the Ithaca Model 37. So back to the Model 17. So with that being said, in 1921, they introduced the Model 17, which was a 20 gauge pump action shotgun. It was hammerless, it was bottom feeding, bottom ejecting, and it was very lightweight. But with that said, they didn't produce it for a very long time. They only made about 73,000 units of it. However, they did make a lot of different grades and variations. So if you found one of these, you could see either a standard grade, or you could find a special grade, or an expert grade, or a tournament grade. And most of those had barrels between 26 inches and 30 inches. However, they also made a riot grade, which with a 20-inch barrel, as well as a police grade with a 15-inch barrel, which is basically a short barrel shotgun. So those are all the different grades that they made. However, they only made about 73,000 of these. Now, if you do get your hands on one of these, you're most likely going to find a standard grade. And even though they're not rare, they are uncommon. However, if you can find one of those specialty grades that I just listed, those are going to be worth a lot more money and a lot more rare, especially if you can find one in good shape. So that's a little bit about the history of the Model 17. Now let's actually go into the shootability and talk about the model that we have in front of us here today. Now today we've got a 1921 first year production Model 17, and this one's only got a 4-digit serial number, so it's one of the first, which is pretty exciting to have here today. Now what I can say is that I have taken it out to the clay field and shot Federal 8-shot target loads through it. And it really was actually a joy to shoot. I mean, it's a 20 gauge, very lightweight pump action shotgun. It's only 5 pounds, 11 ounces. And this one is actually sporting a 30-inch full choke barrel. So there's a lot of barrel here, and it's still very lightweight. Now, it also has a 13.5-inch length of pull. So, all things considered, because they did make these guns between 26 inches and 30 inches, you could really trim that barrel, have that small length of pull, and it would really be a joy to carry in the field, for pheasant hunting and upland hunting. Now, would I recommend this gun, for a hunter or a clay shooter? I would not. And the reason why is just because it's a design from 1913, and although it is tested really reliable and it is very lightweight, at the same time, there's a lot better technology out there that's going to get you a lot better, more gun and more value for the price that you're going to pay for that discipline, whether it's hunting or clay shooting. Now, if you are dedicated and determined to have a bottom feeding, bottom ejecting pump action gun in 20 gauge, I'd also recommend taking a look at the Ithaca Model 37 or the Browning BPS. Both those guns are still being made. They're very reliable. There's a lot of different options and variations that you can get still today, and in my opinion, it's going to be a better value. However, if you are a collector of Remington shotguns or a collector of John Browning models, this is definitely a must-have in your collection. They didn't make it very long. It is unique. It's the first 20 gauge pump action shotgun. It's a Remington design by John Browning, and it's definitely very cool to have in your collection. So with that said, this is Scott signing off with the Average Joe's Armory. As always, we love getting our hands on the guns, doing the research, and making the videos for all of you. We appreciate all your support, and with that being said, we'll see you in the next one.